From a young age, we are handed a very simple equation for life. Get good grades, work incredibly hard, and you will inevitably become successful. Yet all around us, millions of people spend decades standing on factory floors for 12 hours a day, pouring every ounce of their energy into their jobs just to keep their heads above water. If success were strictly a matter of physical stamina and long hours, the global wealth distribution would look very different. The most exhausted workers on Earth would be the most affluent, but the data says otherwise. This massive disconnect exists because the subject of money is entirely absent from the modern classroom. Schools are optimized to teach compliance, rote memorization, and specialized skills, effectively training generations of students to be excellent, unquestioning employees. When you look closely at the system, lifelong financial struggle stops looking like a personal failure. Instead, it looks like a feature. It is the mathematical outcome of an educational model designed to keep the engine of the economy running on cheap, desperate labor. The trap snaps shut the moment you enter the workforce. You secure a degree, land a steady salary, and instantly begin upgrading your life to match that new income bracket. The first of the month hits your bank account like a shot of adrenaline, but within days, that cash is siphoned off by auto loans, credit card payments, and brand-name clothes. You burn through the high, hit zero, and this empty bank account forces you right back into the cubicle for another 30 days. In 1997, an investor published a book that laid this exact trap bare. Robert Kiyosaki pointed out that the pursuit of a steady paycheck was actually a sophisticated form of financial prison. He grew up observing two conflicting models of reality. His biological father was highly educated, earned his PhD in record time, yet struggled with money his entire life and died leaving behind unpaid bills. Meanwhile, the father of his childhood best friend dropped out of school in the 8th grade, yet went on to build a massive financial empire, leaving millions to his family and charity. Watching these two men proved that financial independence requires zero academic brilliance. To actually accumulate capital, you have to stop playing by the school system's rules and start speaking an entirely different financial language. The vocabulary of wealth centers on two incredibly simple definitions. First, a liability is anything that takes money out of your pocket. The moment you finance a shiny new car and drive it off the dealership lot, it sheds thousands of dollars in value, while slapping you with interest payments and maintenance fees. An asset, on the other hand, is a system that physically places money into your pocket, regardless of whether you get out of bed that morning. These are rental properties generating monthly checks, or dividend stocks quietly compounding in the background. The middle class remains financially stuck because they confuse the two. They take the cash from their exhausting day jobs and pour it directly into massive mortgages, expensive gadgets, and depreciating cars, firmly believing they are building a portfolio. The wealthy operate on a completely inverted sequence. They funnel their primary income directly into acquiring true assets. Once those assets are strong enough to generate their own independent cash flow, they use that secondary money to buy the luxury cars and fund the vacations.
This requires understanding the strict boundary between your profession and your business. Being a brilliant surgeon or a top-tier mechanic is a profession. You are laboring to build someone else's equity. Minding your own business means actively building systems that you own and control. Getting this engine started is the hardest part of the journey. Charlie Munger famously noted that scraping together your first $100,000 is a brutal climb. But once you cross that critical threshold, the math flips. You are no longer working for your money. Your money is finally working for you, actively seeking out new ways to multiply itself. Escaping the rat race isn't about landing a higher salary or getting a corner office. It requires a permanent mechanical shift in how you allocate capital, transitioning from a wage laborer trading hours for survival into an architect building a self-sustaining machine. Once you master this internal accounting, you begin to see that the paper currency we're taught to crave is merely a tool for measurement. Wealthy people don't chase the dollar directly, they look for problems to solve. They realize that money is the natural byproduct of solving market friction, turning those solutions into the very assets that populate the ledger we just discussed. Taking a job solely because it offers the highest starting paycheck is a strategic dead end. Instead, optimize your early career for education. Work to aggressively acquire highly scalable skills like sales, team leadership, and digital marketing that will serve as the foundation for your own future ventures. Yet, even armed with this knowledge, most people freeze. Their minds conjure up a paralyzing fear of failure. They convince themselves they aren't ready, waiting endlessly for a perfect time that simply does not exist. This hesitation is frequently masked by arrogance. Highly educated professionals often use their academic pedigree as an excuse to dismiss basic financial mechanics, letting intellectual ego blind them to the reality that they are still trapped in the daily grind. You can have the most mathematically sound blueprint for wealth generation in front of you, but if you cannot conquer your own fear, laziness, and ego, you will actively sabotage your own escape route before you ever lay the first brick. We have to completely unlearn the cultural definition of success. True wealth is not measured by your ability to purchase the latest smartphone on release day or wear logos that signal status to strangers. The only genuine metric of wealth is absolute, uncompromised freedom. It is the mathematical point where your passive income exceeds your living expenses, permanently detaching your physical time from the necessity of earning a paycheck. The moment you decide to pursue this, the excuses will rush in. You will tell yourself you don't have the starting capital, your schedule is too packed, or you simply don't have the specialized expertise to build an asset. But the market does not care about your pristine, theoretical plans. The real world fiercely rewards action. It pays dividends to those who are willing to start messy, fail publicly, and iterate their way to competence. Every single morning you delay building your own cash-flowing system is another day you are forced to wake up and pour your finite energy into expanding someone else's empire. The blueprint is right in front of you. It is time to start building.